Good morning, February 6, 2014, UPB I'm a little under the weather today. I think I have the flu, 102 fever, aches, pains, chills. So I'm going to try and make this as short and pleasant as possible for both you and myself. With the S&P 500, I talked about this on Monday. This trend line here is really acting now as resistance. We need to break above it. I think we ultimately will. And if you look from an oversold perspective, you can see we were this oversold back in September. And you can go back to November, and each of the times we were this oversold, we broke out to the upside in impressive fashion. So I think that's what's going to happen here. I still stand by that. A lot of people are calling for more downside. Somebody on CNBC calling for a 40% drop in stocks. It could happen. Anything's possible. Let's move into earnings. We have earnings tonight. LinkedIn, I think the stock can move over 250 tonight on earnings. The options, though, are priced for it, so maybe stay away from it at least after hours. We've had a lot of names plummet. We have Twitter, which has got absolutely destroyed. Disney, actually, the opposite. I got some calls. I talked about this on Monday, getting the calls. I thought Disney was going to move higher, but Twitter, look at Twitter. Losing 25% of its market cap in one fell swoop. Just, woo! Might break the $50 level before bouncing. And now we're getting the analysts coming out and downgrading the stock. So that was Twitter. We have Shutterfly is getting killed this morning. And we have Pandora getting beaten up pretty good. So it might be a good time to just watch some of these names heading into earnings instead of getting into them, unless you have some money really to risk. This is open table. Every report earnings broke through support. We could be looking at weakness post-earnings. OUTR, which is heavily shorted, is at support. I'd look for a bounce up, possibly over the $70 level. The options are pretty expensive, so we'll see where that heads post earnings. Not something I'm probably looking to trade, but we did have some stocks soaring after hours. We have GMCR was up, hit 131, heavily shorted stock. Coke bought a 10% stake in the company, and initially on this news, soda was down and has recovered since breaking out. I think this stock could really bust a move because Coke is in a bind. They're going to Pepsi, I believe, is in a bind. And JB at OptionMillionaires.com was talking about this a couple years ago, how this stock could be bought out, this company. And what better time than when it's trading at multi-month lows. So that is why soda is up. We have earnings report tomorrow from MCO, which is Moody's. The stock has been doing really well over the last 5 years. I don't know if we're going to get a continuation here. The options are pretty cheap, but we finally going to start rolling over. Let's move into some individual names, and then we'll call it a day. Amazon. Amazon bought a video game company yesterday. You see it's broken through support here. I actually have some of the 380 calls that I bought earlier this week. Ooh, those are looking really good for whoever sold those to me earlier. Congratulations. Thank you. Just send me a bottle of wine. All right. And you can see we've broken through support. So I would look possibly Amazon down at this 310 level, which is, woo, and then in the new all-time highs. How about eBay? Still consolidating in the channel there. It's such a boring stock. Carl Icahn stepped in, still boring. It's amazing. You can tweet about a stock all you want, and it just wants to stay and consolidate in this range. But when it does break out, I think it's going to be a mean, nasty move either to the upside or the downside. Some of these retailers have been beaten down that I like. FIVE, 5 below. More like look out below after it hit $55. I'm still in the calls. I'm in the 37.50 calls. I like Big Lots, which has been absolutely destroyed, beaten down again. Big Lots changed its name to Small Lots. I'm in the 30 and 27.50 calls. They're both looking absolutely fabulous for whoever sold them to me. And something else to watch is the VXX, the VIX. We do have the debt limit talk, so that could inspire some more VIX buying and a spike in the VIX and VXX. But ultimately, this is going to remain a downward trend. So at some point, this is going to be an awesome trade for just a complete whackage, a destruction of volatility. We're getting almost into that overbought area like we saw back in the middle of 2011, just before 2012. All right, UPB here. I'm sorry to cut it short. I do have a fever and the flu, and I'm achy and whiny, complaining, and I need to take a break. But thanks for listening. We do have earnings. Tonight's going to be interesting. LinkedIn open or outer, UNXL, and then before the bell tomorrow we have MCO. So everyone, have a great trading day and a nice end to the week tomorrow. And I'll see you in the chat room at optionmillionaires.com. Goodbye.